Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Chiropractic Leadership, where I have the pleasure of being with someone who I think of as one of our profession's top leaders who exemplifies leadership, both in look and in action. It's my great friend, Dr. Gilles Lamarche. Gilles, thanks for being here, my friend.
Jason, always a pleasure, and I love the topic of discussion today as it relates to online education for the practitioner and for everyone involved in our profession.
Well, we got the assignment, and of course it came to you and I, and that was, having a conversation with the profession about the importance of online engagement. Why is it important for chiropractors basically to start embracing, their cell phones, their computers, wasting time on Facebook, and all of the, I'll say, prejudices that go along with, unfortunately, I think a majority of our profession. Look, we're traditionally a very, kinesthetic, done by hand, connected, emotional, loving community. And in many cases, these electronic devices, don't connect with what it is that we're trying to do. Let's talk about why is it important for us to, as a profession, start embracing these new technologies. What was your experience?
The reality is that it is the way. This is not a fad. It's not something that has come and going to go away immediately. It's something that has come and is going to stay, and that's how people are engaging. And you know that I was a later adopter. After all, I've been a chiropractor almost 40 years. I was not raised up with technology. It took me a while to get rid of my flip phone, even though I've now had an iPhone for, a number of years. But I remember even my assistant telling me that I needed to get on Facebook, and I was like, that's probably a fad. I don't want to do that. And of course, she convinced me to do it. And within a very short period of time, all of a sudden, I was at like 5,000 friends, and the gamut was full. And I've continued to embrace learning online, even though at times I find it frustrating because the technology is ever changing. There's new things happening all the time. You've got to learn something new. Even downloading the new operating system for my iPhone was like a real pain. I didn't want to do it. I finally gotten used to that system, and all of a sudden they're saying, yeah, but you've got to download this system because now you have all these other extra tools and quicker response times, etc. And I was like, I don't really want to do it. And of course, when I downloaded it, it changed how my phone operated. I felt a little frustrated. And, I make phone calls to people like you who walk me through it, or to somebody in our IT department. They walk me through it quickly, and then I embrace it again. So I'm at the stage where I have fully embraced the concept of learning online. I did a full executive leadership training with Cornell a couple of years ago, 100% online. It was my first true online experience of taking a course that was, I can't remember, 12 to 16 weeks long. It was a full credit course, etc. And the first couple of modules were a bit of a pain, but I embraced it. And then I look at the profession as a whole. So many people doing some great work online, sharing phenomenal information. If we think of something that's current, we're early January 2017. If I think of something that's current online is Dr. Jim Tempo and team's, Vaccines Revealed. I mean, it airs. The first episode is going to air tonight. You could never get that reach if we didn't have an online community. You look at Circle of Docs that has built this huge online community sharing information with doctors in the profession that can then take that information and share it with their community. I mean, you can share more information in a day now than you probably could have, I'd say, even in a year in the past, because you get so much access to great online information that is first vetted by groups like Circle of Docs, that's vetted by groups like your company, Amplify, that's vetted by Dr. David Jackson, for example, and his team, or Ed Osborne, who I think has become, I guess, somewhat of the king of podcasts in the chiropractic profession. Dr. Eric Plasker with his 100-year lifestyle, sharing his education online. And so we have all sorts of great bricks and mortar type of events, and I believe that those are still necessary, because that's where we come together and we celebrate. We get our kinesthetic high, if you like. We get to hug, we get to talk, we get to share, we get to shake hands, we get to commune at a really, really deep level. And, that's why Life Vision Seminar exists. But even at that level, that's why the online component is why we've recently created the Life Vision Project, which presently is a series of 40 modules. The first 9 being what we consider to be core modules, where chiropractors who listen to these modules with some of the profession's, leaders as vitalistic visionaries, you will learn how to create, how to own your personal and your professional life vision. If you follow this process, so think about it. 9 interviews that last about 30 minutes each, 4.5 hours to change your life, and you don't even have to leave your office, your bedroom, your living room, wherever it is that you're going to be watching this online. And then a series of other modules, which we're looking at being more elective modules that you can just continue to learn from. And then another series of modules that are more implementation modules. What do you need to really create in your practice to create the practice of your life vision? All online. And if you register for a Life Vision Seminar in 2017, you get all that for absolutely free. And if you say, Gilles, you know what, I'm already doing a lot of good things online. I don't really want to go to a bricks and mortar event, or I can't go to your event on April 21st, 22nd. You can still go to lifevisionseminar.com and actually just buy the modules. So the online component, or concept rather, of education is expanding. It is only going to get bigger. But the beauty about it is that it makes it accessible. I mean, you can watch an online module, for God's sake, in your underwear or your pajamas if you want. You don't have to dress up for it. We look at the new chiropractic organization that's being formed, One Chiropractic, onechiropractic.org, where all the information to help our chiropractic colleagues become successful is actually going to be shared online. We look at some of the work that, Brad Glowacki is doing, or Alex Vidal is doing. Billy DeMoss with CalGym, communicating so much of the information online, building these huge communities. You can call them a tribe if you want, but building these huge communities of doctors, chiropractic professionals who can interact together, and then often bringing in other professionals that aren't chiropractors into some of these circles so that we can all learn together. I mean, online's here to stay, and it's going to be here for a long time. I can just see it expanding and expanding.
I love it. Let's make this real for practicing chiropractors who may say, yeah, but I'm not a teacher, right? I use it because I learned from you, I watch your modules, I learn online, and so on. But now let's extrapolate out the why. I'm a big believer that the how is easy when you know your why, right? So most chiropractors I talk to, unfortunately, still live in this, I don't know what to do. I'm not interested in learning. I don't know. And yet, if they understood that this was literally the key to getting a steady stream of new patients on a regular basis,
and it
is, then all of a sudden, they may be a touch more interested in learning how to use these devices because of their why, whether it's to make more money, serve more people, or both. It's what happens. Talk to me about your thoughts on, what was your aha moment? And what do you think, practicing chiropractors of all generations might need to better understand in order to be able to embrace this as a way in which they can get their message to their community, not just to be consumers of, Life Vision content, my content, and so on, but to actually start realizing that the big vision here is that we create content to share with them, with chiropractors, so they can build a tribe or a following easily without having to make or create or find that content. What are your thoughts on how, what do chiropractors need to do to sort of have that aha moment to go, wait a minute, you're right, I'm online all the time, I'm learning from my mentors. What if I started becoming a mentor to my community using these tools online? What do you think of that?
Well, 30 plus years ago, I crafted my mission statement, which is still active in my mind and heart today. And it's simple. I mean, I tweaked it down over the years, but it's been the same for at least 20 something years. But I pledge my life to my greatest expression of love and service for the benefit of humanity. That's my foundational vision / purpose statement for my life. And so on that foundation, if you like, there's a number of pillars, a father pillar, a husband pillar, a chiropractor pillar, an administrative pillar, a Life University executive team member pillar. The reality for me, what gets me up every day, is that I want people around the world to experience the value of chiropractic for their life and to have them choose lifetime chiropractic care. So my why is very, very simple. That's why I wake up every morning. That's why I literally, and I put it in parentheses, that's why I go to work, even though I always say I haven't worked a day in my life. I mean, I put in a lot of hours. I haven't really worked because I'm doing things that are joyful. And probably 7 or 8 years ago, I opened up a number of talks during one particular year with a little bit of a takeoff on Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. And I would start with, I have a dream. I have a dream that within this decade, chiropractors will be recognized as the go-to health expert around the world. You know what? I still have that dream. And the dream of 7 or 8 years ago was, man, that's going to be a lot of work because I need a lot of people to buy into the dream. I need a lot of worker bees to go out in their communities and make stuff happen. And now, with all this online availability, that dream might just be around the corner. Rather than take 10, 20, 30 years to achieve it, it's not that far. And so there's so much great content being created. I mean, every chiropractor on the planet, in my humble opinion, should be a member of Amplify. I mean, you create easy-to-use content that they can just share in their community.
And it's all free. Let's just remember, and it's all free.
It's free, exactly, because it's part of the mission.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying stop educating people in your practice, but you continue to educate using this medium. And all you need to do is spend 5 to 10 minutes a day communicating messages of value to other people. And I believe that's the value of the online education process. That, I mean, doctor, whether you want to be or not, you actually signed up to be a teacher. We know that the definition of the word doctor includes the word teacher. And so if you say, well, I don't really want to teach, you're in the wrong profession. You're following the wrong calling. Because the reality is, as a doctor, you must teach. Now, do you want to make teaching easy or do you want to make it difficult? Well, if you want to make it easy, join groups like Amplified, join groups like Circle of Docs. Take that content and share it. Share articles. I mean, I talked to Dr. Plasker recently, and I remember he said he shared one article amongst, his network, and he said within like a short period of time, the article had been shared like some 400,000 times. I mean, you couldn't buy that in a national paper, let alone an international paper. You could even probably buy it in a small local paper. And now you can actually spread it around the globe in a nanosecond.
So here's my question for you, because I know what people are thinking right now. They're going, that's great, that's terrific for Plasker, that's terrific for you, that's terrific for everybody else, but how does it get me another new patient? What do you say to that?
It's easy. Think about it. If people, and you've heard this line before, if people knew what you know, if they really knew what you know, and they truly understood what you know, what's the chance that they would feel invited into your circle being your practice? I think it's high. A lot of people know something about chiropractic, but you need to consistently drop pieces of education for them to be inspired to take the first step to show up in your practice. So if you're invisible, you're exactly that. You're invisible. If you're consistently visible in your community through different mediums, online being the number one, least expensive, least time consuming. Like I said, you can do it in your underwear. You can do it at any time of the day. morning, midday. You don't have to leave your office. It's pouring rain or it's a nice storm like we had here in Atlanta on Friday. Guess what? You can sit at your computer for 5 or 10 minutes and share some information through your Facebook page, through an Instagram page, whatever social media you want to use. And if a guy in his 60s can learn to use this medium, then anybody can learn to use this medium. It's not very complex once you spend a little bit of time. And a little bit of time for me was, it probably took me a couple hours to learn the basic stuff, maybe not even that long. And then I had people that I could ask questions of. Typically, who did I start asking questions of at first? My children. I would ask, I did a Facebook post, but this happened. Or when Facebook Live came out, I was like, okay, how does that work? And all of a sudden, I did a Facebook Live post in my backyard with you, and I was like, oh, this is pretty simple. All I need to do is buy myself a decent set of lights, buy myself a little tripod, put it up on my desk, do some Facebook Live if I want. And so sharing information is what people want. They want great information, and guess what? They want to receive it from you.
Exactly.
Because if you're in their backyard, they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from Gilles Lamarche in Atlanta if you practice in, Timbuktu, Alaska, or if you practice in Timmins, Ontario, where I used to practice. They want to hear from somebody that's local. They want to see a trusted source. So, I became that go-to health expert in my community through traditional media, writing books, writing articles in the local newspaper, doing interviews on the radio, doing TV interviews. I became that local go-to health expert, but you can do that now without all of that. Hey, if you can do some of that, it's still good. There's still value in getting it done, but you can become the go-to health expert in your community online because people are watching and people will share it. If you write something of great value, if you write tips of great value, people will share it. On January 2nd, I had this concept for my personal growth and to help other people to write the lessons of life. And so I started writing lessons of life, number 1, and I'm going to go to 364 because I did start on January 2nd. I'm going to go to 364, and then on January 1st, 2018, I'm actually going to write the 365th lesson, and I'm going to take all those lessons, and I'm going to create an ebook. So you heard it here. I've just made a commitment. So far, we're January the 10th. I've already posted 9 of those lessons. Now, with those 9 lessons that I posted, I've already had hundreds of likes. I've had people share the lesson. I've had people start a conversation around the lesson. And so when you share, it doesn't always have to be 100% chiropractic. You want to share information that is viable, that actually helps your community, that will then help build your practice community. So go ahead and help your city and your practice members now and see your practice expand. Because if you take the lead in your community, you will be the expert. The first guy at the start is often the first guy at the finish because you get to start first. So if you have not started yet, it's time to get on the bandwagon and go. If there's somebody in your community that has, start anyway. Because the reality is that, like my community, your community, there's probably less than 10, 12% of the people that are getting regular chiropractic care anyway, which means there's another 88 to 90% of the people that are not. What if you access some of them? And from a why position, what if somebody read one of your posts and because of you made an appointment and went to your office and were saved? What if a life was saved because of you? What if you shared a story of a child, for example, that was healed with chiropractic and someone read that and decided to bring their child to you or to a chiropractor across the country for that matter? Or what if because of you, because of something that you wrote, something that you shared, someone had an epiphany and their life was saved or enhanced because of you? How would that feel? And we know how good that feels. We know how good it feels when we do it from doing a report of findings or when we do it from doing a healthcare class. But online, you got this huge reach. This is it. We must get 100% involvement of the chiropractic profession working or contributing online. You don't have to write it yourself if you don't want to. Share great content that you could borrow from other people. We make our content available. There's nothing that I post that you can't share. I don't copyright anything that I post. Jason with Amplified.com, you don't copyright anything that you post. I mean, you put it out there for people to use and share so that more people get to understand the message. So all of that to tell you, if your why is strong enough, the how takes care of itself, the how already exists. All you need to do is choose to contribute, choose to participate, just become one of the players.
I love it. So there's a lot of people who are doing it well. You mentioned a lot of great names. Let's get specific as it relates to those who follow, or I'll say part of, the Life University, Vitalistic, Life Vision, today's chiropractic leadership community. Let's make sure we go through and review, as many of the different online resources that are available, and then make some suggestions along the way about how to best use them and or share them. So let's start with, I know Dr. Riekman has a Facebook page. It's a great place where he shares, as the president, what his travels are up to, where he is, what he's up to. So go to Facebook and find Dr. Riekman's Guy Riekman Facebook page, like the page, stay connected. And when you see something that inspires you or that you think is great, take a moment, click like, leave a comment, share it with other people. We've got pages and groups for Life Vision. We are sharing some of our upcoming phenomenal interviews. We'll share there as well. You get to stay up to date. You get to be part of a community. There's the Life University Facebook page and so on. Share some more that are coming up for you as far as other online resources that you want, you really want people to go to, get involved with, and what should they do?
Well, like I mentioned a while ago, LifeVisionSeminar.com. Once you register to attend one of our events, you have access to all these wonderful modules of information that would help you. Obviously, I've been a regular user of Amplified for a number of years already. I mean, I'm a member of Circle of Docs. Obviously, when Patrick Gentempo launched Vaccine Reveal, I was like, bang, I'm on it. When I see Jeff Hayes doing some great work, sharing, the movies, doctored and undoctored and bought, I was on it. When Andy Wakefield, we had a conversation. He talked about doing the movie Vax. I was on it. I looked at the information. I contributed to the information. I contributed financially to these projects. And the reason we do it is, again, to get the message out. There's so many possibilities. Obviously, the Life University page, the Life University alumni page, the Life University alumni Facebook group. I mean, it's there. Chiropractic or onechiropractic.org, another process. There's so much good going on, and so many people doing great podcasts that you can then share. So many great videos being put online that, again, that you can just simply choose to share. You don't have to be the one recording the video. You don't have to be the one creating a TV studio in your office. However, if you chose to do that, it would be a good idea. And I'll tell you what, it is not very expensive. I bought an entire lighting system for my office where I'm sitting present at my house for like $100 on Amazon. And all I did, I think I just Googled, camera lighting on Amazon, and I got this entire package. I mean, you walk in here, it looks like super professional for $100. I'm talking, those big umbrellas with a silver lining on the inside, so the light is being reflected. That's what's lighting this desk where I'm sitting at right now. I have no house lights on. I have 2 camera lights on, period. That cost me next to nothing because the whole package came with 3 lights and all sorts of other little gadgets to make this easy. And I didn't resist when you and one other person told me, that's what you need to start doing. I went, okay, it makes sense. That's where the world is going. That's where the millennials are. That's who they're listening to. But guess what? It's not just the millennials. People like me happen to be in my 7th decade of life. I'm not 70, but I'm in my 7th decade of life. People like me are doing a lot of work online. I mean, I get up early in the morning after I do my personal preparation. Then I'll watch something inspiring. I might even go to YouTube and watch some and just Google inspirational videos. Watch something before I go back upstairs and work out. And so we created these processes in our lives that make it easy. And then, of course, learning to share. I mean, I shared a Life Vision Montreal event that we're hosting in Montreal on March 31st and April 1. And I specifically sent it to some Canadian friends. And and tagged some Canadian friends and some northern U.S. friends, Michigan and Maine and New Hampshire, that kind of area, and said, share this. And so when you see something online, don't just click like. Click like is fun. But if you believe that someone else is going to benefit from the information, just share it. Click share and boom, off it goes. And your entire list of people starts to learn. So this is all about creating a community of learning, a community of sharing, so that we can create better lives for ourselves, of course, and for our communities. That start with your practice, Doctors in Practice, that go out to your community, that go out to all of those friends who have friends who happen to live maybe in that province, that state, that country, or across the pond. And as we build this network of sharing and learning, more people receive more help, have better quality of life, all because of you, because you chose to be engaged.
I think that's really
that's
it,
how
Jill.
I see it.
Yeah, I think that's it, Jill. I think it's hopefully, chiropractors making the shift that this isn't just about them being consumers of the information, but them realizing that this is this is the gift. This is, free stuff for you to turn around and then become a leader and build a tribe in your community. That's called building your practice. One of the challenges I've been putting out to the profession is to shift your perspective, shift your paradigm, that you don't think of your practice as your four walls and the number of people you serve every day, right? Most people, you go, oh, where's your practice? You go, oh, my practice is on 123 Main Street. Oh, tell me more about it. Yeah, I serve 100 a day or whatever it is. And that's their practice. And I think, what I hear you saying, and one of the things I think is sort of the next, shift, is what if we thought about our practice as everybody that lives within a 30-minute driving distance to your daily physical location that has access to the internet. And your goal isn't just to serve the people who show up every day, it's to serve all the people that don't yet show up every day by taking the free stuff we're sharing with you as an individual chiropractor and either yourself and or delegating to your staff a consistent system and procedure that therefore amplifies or shares the messages we're sharing with you with your community. And that's ultimately, I think, the vision. We talk a lot about how frustrating it is that, chiropractic continues to be what I think we both call the best kept secret in healthcare. And, it's just mind-boggling in the WikiLeaks, everything goes viral, nothing's a secret, transparency everywhere world we live in, that we still have not figured out a way to get our message to go viral. And I think it starts with us having enough passion to want to learn literally how to click a button in order to build a large community of people then that receive that information on our behalf. I think when you described to me, your personal life vision, which is in alignment with mine as well, it's about the only way we're ever going to get there. Whether you want to build your practice to serve more people, whether you want to build your practice to make more money, buy, a car, a second home, put your kids in college, gifts for your spouse, whatever it may be, all roads lead back to being of service to more people. And this really is, if you're watching this video right now, it's probably even the best validation and proof that, at your own time, in your own place, in your own way, with whatever you're wearing, you can be connecting with people just like Gilles and I, and hopefully having that aha moment to not just be a consumer of it, but in fact to be a redistributor, resharer, retailer, so to speak, of the information that you're getting for free. Gilles, let's go with some closing comments about Life Vision, about the big idea. Why come together? What's it all about? How do we tie this whole concept together? And as I know you and I like to say, and some days I know we'll walk the beach somewhere around the world and kind of go, are we crazy? Yeah, maybe. And other days I think you and I, we'll have a phone call or something and say, I think we're on it. Just one more. Just keep going. Let's just keep pushing forward, because slowly but surely we're building some momentum. Give us some final thoughts on that.
The vision is strong. I mean, I have a grandson that was born August 12th, and my daughter and son-in-law were told that he probably wouldn't live. and he is thriving today. 5 months later, he's actually been thriving since probably the second or third week after his birth, even when they thought he'd never leave the NICU alive. And that has become one of my new driving forces. I've had many driving forces, but I am alive today because of chiropractic. So I remain passionate about our profession because it is a principle. A principle means it is a truth. And so I have no doubt it's a truth. So my major goal, if you like, is to help chiropractors develop the level of certainty in themselves and in the principle that I own, that I've owned for years because I had a great mentor and I had great experiences along the way. I'm not telling you that I didn't falter every once in a while. I did. But keeping that strength. And so that vision is what led me to accept an invitation to come to Life University, to build the Life Vision Seminar brand. The bricks and mortar piece, yeah, because I want people to learn. I want you as a chiropractor to become ultra successful. I want you to discover your life vision, to get to live it professionally, to get to live it personally with family. I want you to have the ultimate vitalistic health experience for yourself and for everybody in your surroundings. And the only way to do that is to build a community. So the community is being built both online and in presence. And the way I best describe our online modules is learn before you come. Like register now for Life Vision Seminar at lifevisionseminar.com. Have access to the modules. Start listening to 1 or 2 every day. You'll get them done in 20 to 40 days, depending on how long you listen. But they're about 30-minute modules. And then start crafting your life vision. And then come to a real live Life Vision Seminar, April 21, 22, and come celebrate. Gosh, we've got so much to celebrate in this phenomenal profession. And I know there's many of you maybe listening that are struggling. I don't know that. I talk to a lot of you that are struggling. Somebody actually made a comment today on Facebook, and I responded. He said something like, so how do you get beyond the struggle? And the struggle, in my opinion, by being part of a group of people that continually learn and support each other. So our line as we built this community is, what would happen if 1,000 or more chiropractors came together to work together to support each other? That's why we've created a private Facebook group that you'll be able to be part of as well. So doing all of that to support you, the practicing chiropractor, yes. To support the vision that we have at Life University, yes. To impact humanity, yes. To potentially save humanity, I think so. That's why we put hours and hours and hours every single day to getting the message to you. And we're asking you to start taking those messages and sending it out to your community around the world so that we can truly build this phenomenal thing we call chiropractic.
I love it. I love it. I'll close with simply saying that, sharing is caring. So let's just keep on sharing. Gilles, I love and appreciate you, my friend. It's a pleasure to always work with you, connect with you, dream with you, and make things happen with you. So on behalf of Dr. Gilles Lamarche and myself, Dr. Jason Deitch, thanks for watching another episode of today's Chiropractic Leadership. Have a great day.